Welcome to Crafting with Opal. I'm Megan. I want to thank Miss Opal Mitchell. Thank you for letting me on to your little crafting show.
Well, I'm glad you do this because it's nice to broaden our horizons on different types of crafts. And so this is going to be cool, I think. Everyone's going to enjoy this one. Oh, and by the way, we always do this every other Thursday at 4 o'clock live. But it's always recorded so you can watch it later. So, and we'll have another one in a couple of weeks that Miss Megan will be doing for us. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So here's the one that she's doing today.
Today we're not going to be broadening ourselves. We're going to be branching out. But we're going to be doing some gem trees. Gem trees are a really fun craft. I love. It's different. It's kind of an eye catcher, and it's actually super duper easy. You just need a couple things. So the one we're going to be making, we have a lot of options. We have like that, we have these, but today we're going to be making a mini tree. Just a really small tree, about this size.
And you will need, besides the supplies that she provided, extra, you're going to need some.
I recommend some pliers for if you have sensitive hands. It can be hard to twist the wires sometimes into the tree base, the trunk. I've already clipped your wires, so, but if you weren't, getting your crafts from us, what you'll need is you'll need a pair of these. They also have wire cutters in them, so you can easily trim and cut your wires into shape. Now, when you're doing trees, there's kind of a rule of thumb. For a large tree, you'll need 20 wires, about 55 millimeters. And then if you do a medium tree, about 15 branches, which would be about 45 millimeters.
What gauge wire is it?
The gauge wire is 0.6 millimeters.
Okay.
This is just copper wire you can get at any craft store. You can even get some of this wire from a hardware store. And then small is 10 to 12 branches. But for mini ones, you're going to use 9 inches, which is a lot less than 33 millimeters, and you're going to be using just 6 branches. Here I'm using a bronze colored copper wire. Next thing you're going to need is some gems, just little gem chips with holes in them. I chose this time some pretty just regular quartz crystal.
And where did you purchase, or where can you get the gemstones that are made like that have the holes in them?
Oh, easy peasy. You can go to a Walmart, Hobby Lobby, just look in the jewelry making section. They will have strings beaded with these gems.
Okay.
You can go to Michael's. They have them on sale all the time. They're super cheap. You can buy, I bought like for $20, I bought like 5 or 6 sets. Multiple, and these are real gemstones, like real crystals. We have real lapis lazuli, we have real rose quartz, semi-precious stones. It's actually really cheap.
All right, well, I'm going to readjust the camera so we can actually zoom in to what she is going to get ready to do. So I'm going to raise this a little bit and then tilt it and zoom in so we can get a better look at what she is.
Let me move my
doing.
example trees. Okay, so first things first, you're going to take your wire. You're going to carefully, not all the way, bend it in half. And you're going to take a gem. Usually it's about 3 to 5 chips on each branch. For small ones, I recommend only 3. Slide that on, put it right in the middle like so, and then you bend the wire, and then clasping the gem with the other hand. You can also use clamps for this to hold it. It's up to you.
So you're just twisting it?
Yep, you're just twisting it.
I'm trying to zoom in so we can
I
see.
recommend twisting it about 4 or 5 times. See? You want it to look like this. There's going to be a twist at the top. And always give it 1 or 2 more twists. You don't want to be too long. And you're going to take this, take your next chip, go up. You're going to take one piece of the wire. Let me find that hole. This is the hardest part, guys, sometimes, is finding the hole. And then putting that up there. And I say go about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch away from the center right here. Bending it again, like so, and twisting this one. Now this one you're going to twist until the wire looks like this. So it's short on one end, long on the other. Then you're going to go get another chip.
And this, which end? This is the long end that you're,
Yeah.
okay, putting it
You're
on.
sliding it onto the long end, going about 1/2 an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit of ways away from the center, and twisting it as well. Twist, twist, twist. And then, once they're all close together like this, you take it. This is the part that can be a little hard on your hands. You're going to start twisting.
It's kind of like at the base of where all 3 of them are.
Yep, you're making your branch and your trunk. These are your branches. This is your trunk right here. Now you twist it down pretty far.
Are you twisting the branches any? Can we see what that
you
those?
Hold it firmly like this, and then twist.
Okay, so you're not twisting them together.
Nope, you're
Okay,
twisting,
below where the
below it.
branches were. Okay.
and then you have this basic shape.
Can we see the other the end of it? The other end? I'm kind of curious to what kind of give us. Oops, sorry. So they're all like that.
All like this. You want to have them kind of different sizes, a little bit different orientations, because like with a real tree, branches aren't all just going to be in the same direction. They're not going to be all the same length.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So now you're starting with another one. Are you-
Starting with another one. And this is actually a really fun craft in that it's one of those kind of crafts. It's kind of like knitting. It's a mindless kind of thing. You don't have to think about it. Just do it, and it's super easy. Now bend it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect.
Just in the middle.
Yeah, just in the middle. And you can do these like 2 or 3 times. Sometimes you can do 4 gems on like your longer wires. I recommend it for the longer ones, but for the shorter ones like this, I recommend at the most 3. Spread that out. Slide that on. And again, do that about 1/2 an inch. Twist it. And you want to make sure you twist it all the way to the end till it meets with the other one. Because if you have it spread out like this, see how it's kind of awkward looking right here?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to twist properly together. You're not going to get that trunk. You need to keep twisting in order to close the gap. As you can see, look how short that gap is now.
Oops.
It's a lot better versus that bigger gap. And then the third one right here. Did that one. And you can also use different gauges of wire.
Oops.
This gauge, I
Oops.
believe, this is 6 millimeter. I think this is 21 gauge wire. Usually I recommend like 21, 20 gauge wire. Any bigger, you're gonna,
What's the difference between gauge and the millimeter? What's
the millimeter is, we usually, when we talk about like millimeter, we're talking about how wide.
mm-hmm.
Gauge is kind of a different way to describe it. It's hard to describe it exactly because
But generally they have it in millimeters on the products when
on
you're
the
buying
products,
it. Okay.
it's millimeters, but when you order it, it'll usually say gauge.
Oh, okay.
And also it depends on what country you're going to. Some are more particular about like how they price it and place it and describe it. Right. You twist it.
Now you got 2 of them.
2 of them. And this is just one of those things that it's nice just to have and put on like a TV show and just start twisting. Doing the twist. Shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up. Also, I recommend always, each limb is about 3 crystals, but I recommend having 2 to 3 extra crystals, because sometimes these crystals, as they are natural gems, they can crack sometimes or shatter, and you need to be extra careful that you have gems to replace those, because if not, see how this one's like longer than this one? That's a little different element. It's kind of cool, like a real tree. And if you don't, you're going to have like not enough crystals for your tree. So I recommend having those extra, because all it takes is for a couple to go missing, fall down or something, and then you've got a wonky looking tree, which isn't great. And also, this is really easy. Let me show you real quick. It's also really easy to undo what you've done. You just retwist it.
Does that not weaken it too much?
Not too much, actually. If
Okay.
you're careful, it can take a little bit of the paint off.
Oh, if it's painted. If it's
Yeah.
the silver, you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it, but the painted one, okay.
But see?
Okay, you
And-
just untwisted it, yeah.
And if you have like kinks like that, you can easily take the end, take the edge, and you can straighten it, pop it a little bit. I'm using my right hand, which is hard. See? Just straightening it out. Being a left-hander is difficult. Alright, and see, like that one was a tad bit short. I can undo that one, redo it,
Oops.
start twisting the end. I do recommend taking breaks in between doing like larger size trees. Your hands can start to hurt, as you can tell.
So you got 3 of them. So how many are you doing altogether? Is it 6 of them, you said?
Yep, and they go pretty fast. I can make one of these small trees in a short amount of time. And it's really helpful putting on a favorite TV show, or I've even done it at work here when I was practicing. Ooh, see, this is a good example. See that how thin that is?
I'm going to zoom in, if it'll let me.
That can break so easily.
Let's see, hold that still so I can see. So are you pointing to?
I'm pointing to the crystal. how
Oh,
thin
the
that is.
edge, yeah.
Sometimes when they process them and put the little holes in them, they make them really delicate, really thin. And you either got to be super delicate when you're twisting, because you can crack it. These aren't diamonds, these are just everyday crystals, which can shatter and break. They're hard, but they're not so hard that...
You can't break them?
Yeah.
Because you're using wire, and that's kind of
That's a hard surface. They're stuck
yeah.
between you and a hard place.
Hmm.
That one. And you can always tighten your crystals, like at the end, if you want. For instance, if one section is a little bit loose, like this one, you can always tighten it up.
Just be careful about not breaking it, right?
Yeah. But you can tighten it up, make it a little bit tighter, so it's not so dangly. Sometimes it's kind of nice if they're a little bit, they move a little bit, because you think of like actual trees, how they bend and twist and sway in the wind. And don't be afraid to have them a little bit wonky if the wire twists a certain way. When you think about an actual tree, it's going to be a little gnarled. It's going to be kind of twisted. Now we're doing our fourth.
All right, well, that was the fourth one, I
Oh,
think.
fifth.
That's fifth. I was going to say,
I went
go.
to school not for math. I went to school for English. Which even that I can't speak properly sometimes. Now, I recommend twisting a bigger one on the first one sometimes, because it's kind of cool to have that bigger one and then sitting next to it the little bit smaller ones. You can also, instead of just doing one type of stone, you can mix it, do different types, different colors together, different shades. You can even take wire and use 2 different types of wire.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. You could make a fall-looking tree with different, you know, shades of orange and yellow and stuff. That would be
Exactly.
cool.
You can do, like, it's so easy. You could put a type of citrine together with, say, like, chunks of coral like this, or some type of dyed stone,
Mm-hmm.
and create a perfect little fall tree. This is also easy to use with beads. So if you've just got some little cheap beads, you can put them on.
Kind of makes me think of that button tree I did.
Button tree, yes.
The painting one. You could probably do buttons even if you
Oh,
wanted
you
to.
could actually, yes. If you did a little bit larger tree, you could do buttons. That would be super easy. It's the same concept, just twisting it on.
It's always fun trying to use things in ways that they weren't necessarily intended
Yeah.
to do other types of art and stuff.
That's
Arts and crafts, yeah.
See, exactly. That's the fun thing about art, is it's a way to express yourself. And it doesn't have to be in the usual way. You can use buttons to make a tree. You can use buttons to paint with a tree. You can do pretty much whatever you want when it comes to art.
Was they call it media type art? Yeah.
Yes. So you can easily do a multimedia type tree. Doing our last branch. Now this is the part that can be kind of difficult. You may want to pull out pliers. I've had to before for some of my bigger ones. We're about to start putting this guy together. And there's a lot of ways you can do this with your tree. You can do like a bonsai style, which is kind of bigger on one side, smaller on the other. You can do a more full tree, such as this one right here. You can also do like a pine tree, which is where you do just a couple stones at the top, slowly work your way down to more and more. With this one, we're just going to show you how to do a classic tree shape. Take one of your wires, take another one.
And where are you twisting it at? Where the limbs begin?
Yep, where the limbs begin, you're going to hold that and then slowly twist down, twist the 2 together. And then you're going to take another one and do the same thing. Twist it around those.
In
Again,
a different spot?
you can do it in a different spot so it looks like branches branching off. You can do it all the way at the top together. I'm personally doing it kind of at just random little spots on the tree, kind of like tree branches branching away.
It's just the first 2 you make sure you do them kind of together.
Yeah, you do those together so they're kind of the base for the tree. can see how I'm going around it. I'm twisting it.
And how far down are you twisting it together? Not all the way, right?
Not all the way down, because we're going to try to
Make a base for
make
it.
a base for it. See, with this type of tree, these gem trees, you can also glue them to something. I recommend sometimes gluing them to like some wood or stone. It's really pretty. Some trees you can just do the base of it and the roots separate. I wanted to do this so I could show you how you can either keep it spread out like this, just spread each wire out. You can cut all the wires and then glue it flat down. See, you can just do this.
To like a base of some kind?
Yeah, you can glue it to a base of some time.
What kind of glue would you use?
Oh, super glue, hot glue, pretty much any type of stronger adhesive. That way it stays down. You see how it stays flat. Also going to teach you another trick. This one's really fun. I like doing this sometimes. You hold your tree, take your pliers, and you twist.
Are you twisting or untwisting?
Twisting.
And that's just one of the, I guess, part of a branch that
Yep.
went all the way down there?
Went all the way down, and as you can see, it's starting to twist together. It looks like a bit of branch, like it's a bit of a root system coming out. And you can do each one like that. You just find a cluster that goes together of about, I say, 2 to 3. You can kind of go and spread them out. Like these two,
Okay.
they're close together.
Let's see.
Here we are. Carefully twisting. And then, one good thing about twisting it is you're getting kind of all the lino loose pieces together. And once you do that, I'll show you another method for this. Not twisting. As you can see, some of my roots are a little bit pokey, a little bit too long. So what you can do is, if you have these type of cutters, like with the wire cutters, you can easily take that little tip in there.
And cut it off.
Yeah. So if you ever find that you don't like the ends, you think it's too much, you can easily clip them off. For now, I'm just going to spread this out. I may add it to a rock later, but this is for just educational purposes right now. Now, take your tree. You can either hold it, you can either glue it down, however you want. Now we're going to start getting our branches out. Start by pulling out a section of tree. You can even carefully bend it, kind of twist it, make it zigzag, curve it.
Let's see, I might lower this a little bit more to kind of get, let's see. Come on. Woo!
Like this.
Yeah.
There we are. See, we're taking the main branches, kind of spreading them out, and then we're taking the individual branches, individual crystals, and then spreading those out. So you're steadily shaping it to how you want it to be. One good thing about this is it's very forgiving art. So if you don't like the shape of it, you can easily reshape it to whatever you need. Like this is a little bit too clustered. Going to move this down, twist this. And then also, you find it a little bit too loose. You want it a little bit more sturdier. Always carefully take the pliers and twist. Twist around the tree. Tighten that up. And then pull your gems further out. You just set it down. You've got yourself a little crystal tree.
That's so cool. There we are. And then I'm going to kind of show the other one sitting there. Oh, that one just fell over, but that's...
He just fell over because I knocked him over too fast.
And then there's our other ones, the little bit bigger ones. And then whenever you did the bigger ones, you just did the same thing.
Same thing. Like I did usually like 4 gems on each limb. And like I used the pliers to twist the base together because there was so much.
Oh, it switched to me. That is so funny. I didn't hit the button. I was trying to zoom out, and it
Opal is the star of the show.
So there I was for a split second looking down at the camera. That was fun. I thought it had stopped recording.
That is what
and
you
I was
get
panicking there for
live.
a second. Like, okay, well, I said hi. There you go. You got to see
She
me.
said hi. So, you can take your tree, you can glue it to some wood, you can glue it to a dish, you can glue it to a rock. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. And you could get some kind of, even any kind of gemstone. You just need one that has one side that's flat, so that part can lay on the table. But the other part doesn't have to be flat necessarily.
It can kind of go up a ridge, go up a side. I had one for my friend that had a large point that I kind of twisted these long wires around to look like a tree growing out of a rock. But yeah.
That's so cool. And then next, well, in 2 weeks, the next Crafting with Opal, she's going to show you how to do some, I guess, like earrings, different types of earrings that you can craft on your own. And
easy peasy.
So that one too will supply you with the supplies for it. But the only other thing you might need, would you need a needle nose pliers with that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would recommend having needle nose pliers for that one to be able to open and close the clasps.
All right. So there we go. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I thought it was pretty cool when she was researching it, and it's like, yay, that would be a neat thing to show people. And that could be neat kind of Christmas gifts, possibly, if you have people
Holiday
that
gift,
likes
anything.
that type of thing. Yeah. So
Something handmade, something different.
So thank you for joining us today, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks. And
Thanks, guys.
call to sign up for the supplies for next time at the library. And if you don't have our number, it's 501-457-5038. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.